job as usual, Joe.
Oh,
Appreciate your work. It's nice that you're getting great cooperation from our team here.
Yeah, I've been doing this for more than a couple of years, and I can positively say that that's not always the case. I'm not talking about here. I've had over the years. It's interesting the information that either gets withheld or somehow gets repackaged as something else. And you got a good solid team here, and they want to do the right thing. And from our standpoint, as auditors, while we don't audit 100% of the transactions, we audit sufficient evidence to enable us to render an opinion on the financial statements. So.
I do have a couple of questions, if I may. And I don't know, Joe or Jim. So on page 5 of the statement of the cash flows, we ended the year in 2024 with a net loss of $67,142, right? A large portion of that is the expense for the EPA brownfield cleanup that we did.
Right, 50,000.
Right. So we had expenses in 23 and 24 for that activity. Do we anticipate being in a positive position at the end of this year? Or no?
We won't have any more, the EPA grant is done, so we won't have any more for that project
Right.
going out. And so everything was there was a little bit, there was like 24,000 or so that was in 2023, and then the rest was in 2024. But we should assume that. if
So those
everything
were
goes right-
one-time expenses.
Right.
Yeah,
It was just the project.
the organization was required to fund anything above what was provided by the developer and EPA. Those flowed through 2024. I think if you look at that line item on a historical basis, you'll see it's either positive or much smaller from a negative cash flow standpoint. And that's all a function. The fees, the assistance that is obtained by the organization from the county has historically been sufficient to cover the operating expenses. And I think that's kind of by design.
Right. So I'll repeat my question. Do we anticipate being in a positive cash flow position at the end of this year?
Well, our whole goal is to try to break even for those.
Well, sure.
And we're gonna be really close to that, I would say. But
Okay.
as Robin indicated, there are no longer any recurring expenses that are gonna go forward.
So barring any,
Unless we take the property back, which
yes,
we do have a reverter agreement that
Right.
we'll agree to that.
through September of this year.
Correct. To get it into the brownfield cleanup program, otherwise we take the property back
Okay. And then we would assume that liability.
again. Yes,
That would change.
they would choose.
That is an option, though. That is not a requirement.
Right.
So the board makes that
It's
decision.
an option. Right.
Okay.
We have that option.
I think the last piece of that, though, is continued collection of the notes and making sure that the notes receivable, making sure that the notes stay current, because that's a big piece of cash flow that you receive a year.
But we took that property and had the remediation work done on the assumption that there would be EPA grant funding for brownfield cleanup. Kind of given the uncertainties at the federal level in terms of which things are going to be, funded, there is some risk there.
Yeah, obviously, we are hopeful that the developer will get it into the brownfield cleanup program, which is a state.
Okay. Sure.
So, and if they don't, as council's indicated, we do have a option for a reverter agreement, which if we decide to invoke that, we would take the property back and then simply go through a new RFP process for a new brownfield development. I don't intend for this entity to do any more work there other than again, try to get this property in the hands of the brownfield developer.
Exactly. Okay. All right, that answers that question. So assuming that we approve this to here, this goes to a final or a,
Yes.
okay. And do you then have a letterhead that you?
Yes, everything gets,
It's all official.
everything gets
Okay.
done, yes. If you look,
Okay.
if you look at the website, you'll see final documents there.
All right.
It shows up on white paper until we do that, just because we don't,
Got it.
we are thrifty in use of the letterhead.
Okay. I didn't know if our financial statements are subject to any regulatory oversight or control or reports that have to be submitted. That was why I asked that question.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah, they are required to support or submit them to the comptroller's office.
Okay. Okay.
Through the Paris system.
All right.
Yeah, those are posted, right? And then they're delivered before the 31st.
And do we post these on our website or not? The financial statements?
I do put them on the website because then I have to link them to the parish report.
And you do that once we've approved the final?
Yeah,
the-
I won't put the draft on, just
Got
the
it.
final.
Okay. Thank you.
In looking at this, most expenses are very consistent from 23 to 24, except for the administration fees and others. Is that because of the project merit date? Yes. And administration fees.
As the board may recall, the IDA administers the business center, and the IDA was only getting $20,000 a year to administer it. Because of the extra work, this board agreed to give them $30,000. So we had that extra money to provide that administration that was necessary.
All right.
Before you call for a vote, I just want to commend Robin and Jennifer on the work moving with the financial statements. They do the bulk of the heavy lifting on this. And I'm very fortunate to have both of them here. And I think the board should understand that things are in good hands here. So,
We appreciate that as a board. Thank you. All right, I think we might as well take this to a vote. Motion.
I make a motion.
I'll second. If there's no other questions or comments, let's vote on this. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Thank you.
Joe, you're free to go.
Terrific.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, John.
We'll see some of you next week.
Probably got a cup of coffee calling.
Thanks, everyone.
I see.
Okay. Authorizing the IDA administration of 30,000.
Yeah, I'm going to attach the MOU. It's an annual MOU that we have that we just talked about. 30,000 contributions from this board to the IDA for administration of what you will see is a wealth of program and accomplishments. Far more than it would cost if you had paid staff.
Okay. Good value.
Good value.
Do we want to also do the authorization for the annual 5,000 investment?
Yeah, we can do that. You'll see once we get into the presentation of the annual report, the kind of contributions and partnership that we have with Invest Buffalo Niagara for business attraction activities. I'm on the board of directors along with my fellow board member, Kevin, who's also on the board of directors. I speak highly about the interaction that we have with that organization. We get a lot for our $5,000.
So feel that it's good value received.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts or questions on that commitment that we will continue to make? If not, Do we have to, we're not approving that at this point.
Yeah, I would
We are.
approve both B and C together.
All right.
Yeah, you're recommending approval to the
Okay,
full board, right? Because it's on that agenda too.
All right. Jim, motion, Dan, your second?
Yes.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. All right. You want to adopt the finance and audit policies?
Yeah, those were not attached, but they, a link was sent ahead of time, so if anybody wanted to look at those again. Dan's comments earlier about making sure they're up to date with the reapprovals will be taken into consideration if the board approves them. And so item D and E can go together. And
Okay.
As far as I saw, there were no changes.
So we're looking for an approval on T and E. So motion, Dan, second? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And the last is review and approve the investment report, which is in our packet.
as attached. High interest rates have been our friend, but they're starting to go the other way a little bit.
So our loan rates.
This is true.
Any questions, comments on our investments?
As Joe indicated, we're kind of limited to what we can invest in, so CDs are a good solid investment.
So you said rates are, we know rates on deposits are going down. You said rates on loans are also starting to go down?
30-year fixed mortgage, 375 this morning, I believe.
What about commercial loans?
They're all right.
Good question. All right. Not to put you on the spot.
Getting better.
Okay. We need to approve this investment report also. How much? Rick? Motion is,
I'll second.
second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We got through everything on this agenda, so I'm going to adjourn the Finance and Audit Committee. And we'll move on to.
Can we have a motion, please? Yeah, a motion to
Okay,
adjourn.
we got a motion.
Second?
and We have a second. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Before we get this northern border thing,
Remember,
we are.
there's a lot of heavy lifting.
Our advantage to that is,
It's well, it's federal money, but it opens up a whole new pot of grant opportunities for infrastructure types of projects. We'll be, looking at that quite heavily. There was a lot of, well, Scott worked on a lot of it as well, and then took a lot of effort at the board of supervisors level and state and then federal representation to get through.
Yeah, James Bragg, the county planner, told me yesterday that they're looking into some housing grants that are available through that program or being associated with the northern border states.
So, there's a couple of federal programs that Wyoming County couldn't participate in. We're not part of the Appalachian Regional Commission, which stops at our border down to the south. And then this one stopped at our other border here at the north. So we were kind of stuck in between without taking advantage of this pot of federal dollars that can help rural counties with infrastructure. So now we have the opportunity to do that. So,
Yeah, I'm familiar with that grant program. Rail money.
Rail,
Right.
Mhm.
Looks like
No, but we tried to run the water around Perry Center down around 28 and USD loans, the short.
Have MRB look into it for you.
Okay, we don't, we're not call Scott.
Are there opportunities to tap into that for Silver Lake and cleaning up that north end? Yes.
There was a, we put it in for a congressional earmark, too, right, Scott, the Silver Lake dredging project?
That was,
Wasn't there $1 million approved or something at one time?
yeah, it
There's
was,
some penny.
it was over $1 million through Tenny's office. So that it's the same program that you're applying for your well project that we supported.
Through EFC, around Silver Lake.
No, that had been state, so this would be congressionally directed funding through our members of Congress, both Senate and House.
So the answer is yes.
Yeah, we've heard so many things throughout the years, but it never seems to get off the ground. What is it going to take to make it happen?
That's pretty important. I found out that Indians had Woodstock next to the Silver Lake, hundreds of years ago. We all were there for a long time, every summer. So that's when we came put the dredgings in there. And they said the dredgings can't be off of the watershed. Now they said the dredgings can be taken off the watershed.
Now they said they could be land spread.
Yes,
Yes.
except what's in the outlet, which is higher,
Higher,
SCBs or
but-
something, so that has to be water and use as cover for landfills.
So last I knew, there were some agreements being trying to be paid with the landowners enjoying.
We are, Sam, we are very reluctant to reapply through the DEC. We already have a permit. But we're reluctant to reapply based on the changes that, they had identified, mainly because it's a moving target. If we reapply through that program with the DEC for the dredging, then we may be subject to a whole new host of, regulatory requirements from the DEC because it's a moving target. So we're kind of holding that back until we can come to some agreement. That's what's really put the brakes on it at this point.
So it's going nowhere.
I wouldn't say it's going nowhere. It's the DEC is incredibly slow to respond, and I think they're trying to work through some agreements with the landowner and so on, where we can put this dredging material. And they have stated this is post discovery of the Indian artifacts. Originally, they said no, you can't put it there. Now they say you can put it there, but it has to be a certain depth over the top, right? If you disturb the soil, then it becomes a major issue, but you can dump it there. So it's just the communications process with DEC is incredibly slow.
The irony is all that material that they're dumping there came from
Correct.
Right.
It sounds as though we need someone in ag to figure out a way to make it a great viable product, like they have with manure and such, right? Drying
Put it
and
through some
bedding.
kind, yeah, put it through some
Can we
kind
make
of a
this
cleaner
some sort of
system.
bedding somewhere in the
Yeah.
world?
Right,
Mhm.
We covered flare head or something.
sure.
All right, I didn't mean to get off.
No, but it's painfully slow.
I think we're ready to get into the annual meeting of the business center, correct?
Yep.
Okay. And we do have a quorum, so I'll call the meeting to order and start with the administrative in section 1. We would approve the minutes from November 6th of 2024. I will see that most everybody has got these. So,
I would make a motion.
we have a motion and a second. Second, Jim, second. No other questions or comments? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Thank you. Okay. We need to, review, approve financial report for November, December 2024, January, February 2025.
Just looking over, the seems to be in order, the jumps out and all, the end of, for 514,000, and then the end of February, 464, which is a difference of about $50,000. There was a difference in cash on hand for the MK project, of about $50,000, so that kind of showed up. And we did take in, well, the loans was paid off, we did significantly more money in January and February than we did in December. And we also received 40,000 from the board of supervisors in January and February, which wasn't on December, so that was the difference. Any questions I had were answered by Robin.
I apologize for the funky look of the budgets on the back. I don't know why it's copied like that. I apologize.
Nothing yet,
No, I checked, that's exactly what
Well,
it
you
was.
came out just fine.
Yeah, yours was fine, right? Yeah, and that's what I printed off, was what I sent to you. And I was like, oh.
All right,
Motion to approve.
we have a motion, and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. And our review and approval of our mission statement, which was approved, recommended for approval at the finance and audit meeting. So let's take a vote on that.
Motion.
Motion, Jim, second.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Always carried. All right. Let's go on section 3. And we'll start by some of these things have already been approved in the committee, but we have approval of the audit report.
So you got to number 2.
Oh, I didn't do number 2.
No, you didn't do number 2.
Okay.
Governance
it's
committee.
governance. Okay, let's do governance. We need to approve the minutes of the governance committee member appointments, approve the finance and audit committee member appointments. Now you're gonna go right down through here, approve the board officer appointments, and approve and re-adopt the governance policies.
Motion.
Motion. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those carried. Now we can move on to finance and audit. And we will again do some of these together. The approval of the 24 audit report, the approval of the annual MOU, the IDA, approval of the 5,000 for Invest Buffalo Niagara, new keep right bill and improve and adopt finance audit policies, review and adopt the investment policy, approve the County Business Center investment report, which we've already approved, recommended for approval. So with that, I take a motion. And a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. All right, we'll move right into the action items, and that's going to get right into a request for a loan from Yummy's Ice Cream, and Mark is here to present the request.
Okay, thank you, Sam. I'm assuming everyone's read through this, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. But to summarize, you have a loan request for $50,000 from Valerie Henrici, who owns a new company called Yummy's Ice Cream Company, Inc. This will be a manufacturing business that will occupy an entire building at 52 North Main Street in Warsaw. Valerie recently purchased that building. I do believe the loan is closed, but she's purchased it. So she's owning the building and she now needs money to buy the equipment and get up and running. Valerie also currently owns a business,
Yeah, it's a couple pages in.
owns a business in town, the Yummy's Ice Cream building across from the high school on Center Street. She's owned that for 18 years. It's been very successful from the financials that I received from her for the last 3 years. She's done over $750,000 in sales out of that store and paid herself well and still had profits beyond that. But the loan at hand would be for the manufacturing facility at 52 North Main Street. Valerie would be putting some of her own funds into that investment. She would put in $37,847, and she has applied for a grant through Wyoming County for 20, along with the $50,000 micro loan would cover the $107,847 in loan and expenses that she anticipates there. Her costs have been broken down from renovations to inventory, working capital, all seem reasonable for a total of $107,847. Valerie provided me with everything that I needed. She has a strong personal financial statement. She owns 3 different companies. She owns a real estate holding company that this new purchase will be part of. She also has the Yummy store in there as part of her real estate holdings and an Airbnb in West Virginia that she rents out and also uses occasionally. From what I saw, she had disclosed a personal net worth of some $500,000. I believe it's higher than that. There was a adding error of $100,000, plus her loans had been paid down, and she didn't add any value to her ice cream business that she has on Center Street, which based on the income should be worth several $100,000. Past credit for Valerie is perfect. She's never skipped a beat as far as repaying any loans there. As far as the new company goes, she has been making ice cream for her existing ice cream business on Center Street and has been wholesaling some sales to the outside. She wants to expand those outside sales as well as make everything that she will sell at her ice cream store. So I think the idea is great. Apparently her ice cream is great. She seems very, very astute and knows what she's doing. She's been a businesswoman in the Warsaw area for the past 20 years. She's been given numerous awards, Business of the Year, Small Business of the Year, Ice Cream Maker of the Year, on and on it goes. She seems very qualified and should easily be able to cover the loan payment that she's requesting. I would recommend that you get a personal guarantee from her, as well as filing a UCC against the equipment that she's buying with part of the proceeds that you would be lending her. Everything seems to be in order. I do not have any information on the borrowing entity. It had not yet been formed when I talked to Valerie. Kevin would need to get those and take a look at them and make sure they're in order, but based on who she uses for her financial and accounting people, I would certainly think she's in good hands there. So I would certainly recommend that this loan be approved for Valerie. If there's any questions I could answer.
What's the $20,000 grant from the county that she received?
Yeah, this is the micro enterprise grant the county applied for on our behalf. That's what we received. It's from OCR, Office of Community. And through that program, it was provided to the Business Assistance Corporation, which is the affiliate under the IDA. And through that program, we did grants up to $20,000 for businesses that are either low or moderate income owned, or they create a job, at least one full-time job for someone who's of low or moderate income. So she has applied for that. It has not been approved yet, but we still have some funds in there. And right now, the application is being reviewed by our administrator. And that looks very promising.
And if that didn't come through,
Actually, the grant right now, the consultants that are reviewing it are waiting to be sure she gets the microloan, because without the microloan, she wouldn't have the funds
To employ.
and we wouldn't want to give her the grant funds of 20,000 if she didn't have enough funds to do the whole project. So they're just waiting for her to be approved for this, to put the packet together. But other than that, she's
so are
a go.
we approving this contingent upon her getting that grant?
Well, she won't get the grant unless she gets approved for the microloan.
Well-
the chicken and the egg.
That's right.
The 20,000,
I would
I
assume
would
that,
think she would be able to.
yeah, either through the bank
Bridge that
or
gap.
something, bridge that, yeah. 50,000 is a little bit more, but like the grant program, you have to show that you have your funds in place for the whole project before you can be approved, because it goes through the state, and the state wants to be sure that we're doing our due diligence as far as like we're not giving money to people that aren't showing that they have the funds available for a project, and it's not gonna go forward.
Is she qualifying for the grant based on adding an employee?
She's gonna add 3, so yes.
So I'm sure if she didn't get it, she could go to her lender and make that up.
So unlike her property next door, the business next door, which is seasonal, this is going to be a full year. And
I would think as far as demand goes in the
Production.
winter may slow, but I would think it's a year-round business.
Okay,
And her largest customer is Yummy's.
Correct.
That's closed. She's gonna lose a tremendous amount of income, but I'm sure she's got that figured in there.
I'm sure she's got to build inventory.
Yeah.
Ice cream doesn't spoil.
well, as I read through her application, though, she indicated she's going to be wholesaling products, and she had already lined up some interested parties who were interested in retailing her product, I would assume year-round.
I think, the old souls use it.
Yeah, there's a Daryl's.
Daryl.
Yeah,
And with the Richards, maybe using it there.
and if she really wanted to promote it, I'm sure there'd be good demand for the product.
So with this facility, she'll be able to increase production capacity
Correct.
other than what she can make next door here.
Am I allowed to add a little?
I would probably not. You're the loan officer on this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably refrain from discussing
In fact, I was gonna ask you that question,
and
Brian.
abstain from both.
You, in as much as you were the loan officer for her loan here, did you have decision rights associated with the loan?
Myself?
Yes.
For this project that she's recorded, there isn't any loan from the
So-
bank.
Please let Brian answer that question first.
This entity has nothing to do with, what? Correct.
Your approval.
As.
Obviously, I'm trying to weigh whether or not there's a potential conflict of interest here in your vote.
Oh, I'm not voting.
You're gonna say.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
you're
not voting, I'm sorry.
Okay.
We have already talked. Yeah, I'm not voting.
That's,
On a personal level, in the community, she has said to, people, there's gonna be even more to that building eventually. So that wasn't disclosed to me on my end in a financial manner, but that was, she mentioned it at a dinner, at a public dinner, that she has more things that she plans to do with the property itself.
The new property.
Correct. The new property is, the old Foot and Meyer building, next to Lori's Restaurant here.
She's
okay.
been doing this over here. How does she get a supply in? That tends to look practical. She must have some way to get the supplies in there without
Yeah, I think that's side street. Most of the time, it's not supposed to be right there. Or I think that's where Laura gets her straight from.
But she makes very limited quantities too. I mean, if you go in there, I mean, there's just a small freezer case with, you know, the product in quart size containers and so on. So most of it's going out the door, you know,
Yeah, in your hand.
in your hand. Sure. She doesn't mention, she also operates a food truck, doesn't she? In the
Ice
summer
cream
months?
truck,
Ice cream truck, okay,
yeah.
that she sends out to various
Well, you can
locations.
hire it
Ah,
at wedding,
okay.
weddings.
I'm trying to get a picture of the facility there. When I looked on the map, it was the was it the accountant?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
on
small, yeah, on the street.
Yeah.
On the corner, but it
On the
goes
corner.
all the way back.
Okay,
It's the length of all of those.
got it. All right. And next door is
Lori's
Lori's.
restaurant.
So the building is large enough as she grows that she can accommodate more production.
On a personal level, I think so.
I mean, she's making ice cream now out of the closet.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point, she outgrew that.
I heard through Brenda Kelly that she was having a little difficulty with ISAC, so she had to have more power in there, what was in there. And they were kind of a hard time looking at Brenda's president changes.
All right, any other questions about this request?
Scott, is she a chamber member?
She plans to, I'll say what you weren't saying, as far as the storefront, part of the full-time, she wants to open really a retail section in front of it, so it isn't just a manufacturing, because that's concerning on our main street, that is, we have, a closed-off storefront, so she wants to open up a almost like products of Wyoming County, almost like a tourism.
She did mention that on the front page of her application at the bottom, she did
Yeah,
say that.
so that it'll have
On Main Street?
Yep, so it'll be a dual purpose at that location. The front will be opened up to have a retail shop where she wants to feature, maple syrup and other dairy products, cheeses, craft products, things like that. In addition to the wholesale production.
All right. So that location on, was it
Genesee and Main.
52 Main
Yeah, right at Genesee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
will also be a retail?
that's her plan. It's that front Main Street facing. Yeah.
Can somebody walk up to that and get an ice cream cone?
That is not necessarily her plan. No, you could buy maybe a quart or something in there, but not. She still wants you to go here for your ice cream.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, good presentation. Any other questions?
Did you get any samples or anything?
I didn't, no.
Oh.
Out of season, I guess.
It's
out of season.
You gotta wait until the 17th.
That's right.
Looking for a motion. Approval. Okay, second. There's no other questions. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And Brian, you are abstaining from this vote.
Okay, thank you. Mark, you're free to go, or you're welcome to stay, either.
I have another appointment, so thank you, I will go.
Good work.
Thank you all. Good to see you all.
Thank you.
Okay, Jim, I'm gonna turn the meeting over to you. Reading your report.
Yeah, in your report packet, there's the annual report that we put together. I'm not gonna read it word for word, so don't be worried about that. Kind of a quick little message for me in the beginning about our areas of specialty that kind of pumped out to me during the year, the fast track program, our entrepreneurship program, WCBC North LLC, and the conclusion of that EPA project, things like that. On page 3, just kind of an intro. We have the list of characters as they serve on the board of directors. So thank you for your service throughout the year for 2024 and now moving into 2025. We listed at the beginning here the fast track program. So we have program, Jennifer and I were just talking yesterday, that we are heading into our 15th year of the Fast Track program. And in doing so, Jennifer, what is the number that you track for new or existing businesses who've been helped in the program that started?
Yes, we've graduated 214, 233 have been educated, and about 134 businesses have either been created or grown, so we're about 63%.
That doesn't even include any job numbers, obviously. Every business is created, there's at least one job by the owner. So that program continues to be very successful for us as a economic development strategy here in the county. The next program starts on March 25th. And how many registrations do we have for that program?
We have 5 registered with a deposit, 2 additional have registered that we're waiting on a deposit for the secure your seat, so they're committed. And I have 2 other people that I've been speaking with about. So we will run the program, and we limit it up to 10, so we should be pretty good with our numbers.
Yeah, we'll run the program with a minimum of 5, 10 is the cap. The reason being that everybody that registers bring a business partner with them or a spouse. Nobody goes into business by themselves. On page 6 are just some photographs and lists of some of the business ideas that have come through the program. There's the Smiling Fish Brothers down there in the bottom of page 6. And they continue to do a great job for us. So there's the spring class and the fall class. We're grateful on the bottom of page 7 to all of our guest speakers, many of which, a few of them are here at this table. Mr. Fish, Mr. Stone, appreciate your volunteering your time to make with help with those classes. Then the attorney is Robert Strasso here in town. The students or the participants really like when he comes in, they call that free lawyer night. On page 8 is the Business Accelerator Academy program. If anybody listens to WCBC, you've probably heard a press release that they read today. We're trying to get a couple more members into that program. Again, we limit participation in that. That program has been really good in terms of having some additional technical assistance for companies or small businesses that may be struggling with something. They are facilitated, program facilitated by the Fitch Boys. And, you look at what your issue might be, and then you work on some proposed solutions and how you can improve, whether it be marketing or strategic planning or whatever it may be. So there's pictures of the Business Accelerator Academies, both the spring and the fall. The mentorship program continues to be a very successful program as well for us. Since we started the program, you'll see in the middle of the page, we've had 42 businesses come into that program, and they find great value in that. And we're growing our list of mentors, trying to get more mentors and specific expertise. Like we have a really sound marketing guy, we have strong financial people and things of that nature. So we continue to do that. In fact, we applied for a grant to try to recruit and expand that program, but unfortunately we did not get that grant. But Scott had helped us out with that as well. The Springboard grant program that we're trying to get. Page 11 is the micro loan program that we continue to run. See, in 2024, new loans include from this valley, that's the Mushroom Grower type of properties, that's Doug Tillison's Pizza Place, which is not open yet, but he's getting closer. And then we did the Easy Start Boarding LLC, and there in the middle are the current portfolio of micro borrowers with a total loan portfolio of $302,000.
Do you feel as though you would want to continue to have Max's Bakery listed in this?
I'm hounding her, and as of yesterday, I was still hounding her, so. I don't know. I've always had part of me in my DNA, I think it was, Jennifer does a lot of that as well, so. hopefully we can get that. The Rapid Start Loan Program, that has been pretty successful for us as an organization. We did 3 of those, Creative Foods of Warsaw, which is the LLC that owns Pizzanos. And then we had Laura's Cakes and More, that's a picture that's in there and set. And then Bill Coley LLC, which is a startup company that the board approved funding for, that, or committee, I should say, that approved, this gentleman makes, I don't know how best to describe it. He has a system for checking air leakages in new builds for housing. There's a lot of new regulations about efficiency and those sorts of things. So he has a system which he used the money from the loan to buy his system, and he'll be working with contractors to engage his services to make sure new house builds are really energy efficient. If you want to partake in a cookie over here, I picked them up this morning from Laura's, so you can get a sample of what she makes over there. But there you can see the portfolio of our loan program for the Rapid Start, and that list seems to grow a little bit longer each time. So sometimes it's just $10,000 in a shot in the arm, and that's all they need to really get over the hump. Business traction marketing, we continue to use our website, keep that updated regarding buildings and sites and programs that we have. I also engage with the Greater Rochester Enterprise in Rochester, which is an organization similar to Invest Buffalo Niagara. We participate in both of those organizations. They provide us with leads and assistance for trying to attract the business here in the county. They always send out project leads, and then you have to go identify the sites in Wyoming County that might best fill the needs of the company. So those bullet items at the bottom of 13, there's a couple projects. They are always under some secret code name. But you can see that there's 4, 5, 6, 7 project leads that we responded to with various properties that we have available here in the county. There have not been any site visits yet, other than one this week, and it was a ice cream maker. I don't know the project name, but who wants to establish a U.S. location.
A lot of that to repurposing existing buildings.
Yes. Yeah. So they came and looked at it. Obviously, they have to have a food grade facility. So it's going to take a lot of retrofit to buy an existing building.
With the 9-year credit.
Yeah, I mean, it's still there.
Someone else will look at it. Get the doors open.
Oh,
Big clouds.
The one in
Yeah.
Perry,
One
yeah.
in
One
our
couple, one there. Sure.
Arcade empty also.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they want $3 million for it. So, you know, but, you know, for me, as long as just donate to the church and use it right off, then they fly.
There's another church group looking at a couple of them too. Yeah. The industrial real estate development strategy, in my participation with Invest Buffalo Niagara, I'm on a committee that looks at real estate sites and how we might be able to improve them. I was fortunate to leverage through my participation to have them look at one of our industrial sites that's owned by the IDA, as you can see pictures there. They brought an engineer in to look at how we can enhance the attractiveness and improve on a plan for the infrastructure for the site, and so we're beginning to implement some of those recommendations. The Business Center also is a part of the workforce development for Wyoming County. I sit on the board of directors for the workforce development board for the Globe region. One of our signature events is at Blow With Your Hands. And last year we had over 1,000 students come in, and there are several employers from Wyoming County that set up as vendors at this facility, so it's a very well attended event. These are hard to fill, kind of skilled work positions, trying to let the kids know that we have these valuable jobs here and they should take a look at.
Out of the 1,000 that attended, how many would you estimate came from Wyoming County?
I would say virtually every school district.
Okay.
Schools in Wyoming County participate. Probably 25 to 30 kids from most schools, yeah,
Each school.
Yeah, about
from each
100,
school, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's good.
We usually, I love,
Busload anyways, usually.
I stay here in Bandford and Robert and Jennifer, I normally go over and volunteer for the event. Jennifer was the lunch lady again this year, so.
Got a good lunch crew, we gotta feed those kids. Yeah.
Sure.
And then the last section of the report is how, talks about how this organization has traditionally handled environmentally challenging sites. And obviously, you know the story about MK, and we threw some pictures in there about how kind of the site looked there on 17, and then on the back page, how things look now. They're very different. And then this, the conclusion is, we continue to work very closely with the IDA and the Chamber of Commerce and the County Board of Supervisors on economic development and improving our workforce needs, and improving properties, and just everything that we can do related to economic development. So I would present that as our annual report, and maybe ask the board to consider a motion to adopt that.
Yes, looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second. Second. Rick, second. All those in favor?
Hi.
Great job.
We have to answer any questions.
Jim, when I occasionally see business notices on the news and so on, particularly online, they reference sometimes go to this business first.
Yes.
Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I subscribe to it.
You do?
It's a
Okay.
business newspaper. Oftentimes it'll have stories in there about Wyoming County businesses as well, so.
Yes.
Business First is the Buffalo version of the Rochester Business Journal.
Yep.
I see, okay. All right, but we do subscribe to that, is it,
I read the online edition daily. The print version, when it comes out, it's usually old news because
Sure.
most of the stuff is on the online.
Yes.
version.
okay. All right, I didn't know if we were,
Yeah, you gotta stay in touch with the region because.
Absolutely.
We've done some marketing through it too, Jim, and some
Yes,
of their
we have
special
advertised
editions,
in it.
we've done some
okay,
specific targeted marketing.
very good.
Most everything that's in this report is something that we will continue doing through 2025 and beyond.
I would- Yes. Seem to be working for our business community, so
Okay,
I'd like to continue on.
excellent. Anything else for Jim on this? So I think we can now move into the program updates. Jennifer, I'll
Sure.
let you
Okay.
go from here.
All right, so in the packet, there's the loan report, and just if you want to go down through it, the past due amounts. Max's Bakery there, we, can discuss at any time of what you want to do with that. They did have a balloon payment of the $15,348, so they are below their balloon payment.
Technically, she's not in default yet.
Yeah, but we'll just continue to try to reach out with her. The next one down, that $1,072.46, that has been paid in March, so that's no longer past due. And the next one down, that $1,480.82, there was a payment that's been reduced down as a past due amount of $678.16. So that those funds are coming in, and there has been communication now. So I'm pretty confident that will get caught back up. And that's about it to kind of highlight. We did have that paid in full there, Gemco Buttermeat Company, and they also did make a substantial principal payment on their microloan above.
That was the Jill Gould and her storefront in Perry, she closed that.
There's a
It
soft
has
opening
reopened.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Soft grand opening tomorrow.
Yes, so
Country Bell.
Yeah, there's a new tenant in there who was one of the people that this board approved a $10,000 loan from,
Okay,
and that was for Emily Richards to set up a farm stand.
sure,
Who road is that in?
It's Abbott Road.
Abbott Road, just by the lake, and she's decided to move into this.
okay. Is Jill completely out of the, The meat business?
She's still, trying to sell meat.
She went back, right, to her, what she was
Yeah.
doing, selling online.
Online,
Yeah.
I see, okay.
And her and her husband have taken over the farm as well, so.
Have they?
She's a part of the farm operation as well. Then a baby came along, which kind of changed a lot.
Sure.
Yeah, she's got a lot going on.
She had reached out to me earlier this, 2024 and said that she was wondering if anyone was interested in coming in and taking over the cafe, part of her business, because her heart was in doing the meat, cutting and all, and selling the meat. But to run that cafe, she took so much of her time, and she didn't have a lot of, dependable employees, enough to keep it going on a normal basis, so she was hoping to get someone to come in and run it. She says it's a gold mine if someone wants to do it. So then when Emily came along with the Country Belle Farm Store, I mean, I think she's gonna do well there.
Is she gonna offer, coffee and things like that?
I'm not aware of that. I mean, I'm
I'm
a
not
customer
sure.
of hers now.
Yeah.
And she does have danishes and donuts and things that are packaged that are for sale. She does sell coffee, but dry coffee.
Yeah.
I don't know if she'll incorporate that or
We
not.
need to send some work here.
But I'm going there tomorrow to
Yeah.
So,
check
so
out.
put the
because it's
bug
a
in her
soft
ear if she
opening.
doesn't tell her she.
Well, there's a great coffee, machine in that, space. I don't know if Jill removed that or not, but, they make good coffee. They did make good coffee.
Yeah.
So I'm great.
She's still from the other.
I don't know. I was gonna ask
The
tomorrow.
farm stand?
That's really convenient for me.
Yeah.
I don't have to drive all the
Was
way
that
to
kind of a
Barry.
self-serve?
Yeah,
So
completely.
she may do that, just do a self-serve as far as keep some stuff there.
Yeah, and she had freezers with meat, everything.
She's keeping it open because
She is
when she
keeping it
joined
open.
with us, she changed it over to the store, will be the primary business, and the farm stand will be the secondary business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Oh, for the fast track program, we kind of reviewed that through the annual report. Just know that we did receive some sponsorship funds from Complete Payroll, RD Strassel, and 5 Star. We thank you very much for those funds, and we're anticipating Tompkins Community Bank some funding coming in, and hopefully from Community Bank as well. We did send out letters to the DBAs, information about our program, and I did, already report our numbers of where we're at for that. So,
Jen, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What is the cost of the program?
the cost is $700. There's a $400 tuition subsidy available if you reside in or create your business within Wyoming County. And we also offer a 10% discount for law enforcement and veterans. So it could cost you $300 or maybe $270.
Do you have to be income eligible for the 400?
No. Okay. No. We do use Community Action, their Workforce Innovation Opportunity Program. Sometimes if they're a dislocated worker, there is funding for them to have everything covered in full. So we always submit their information to Community Action first, let them run through their programs, and if not, we'll cover that through either sponsorship money or business center money, that $400, to invest in our small businesses.
We also offer one free scholarship to a high school college.
Yes.
We have one interested. right?
One for the fall,
Our
yeah.
From Warsaw.
Letchworth. Yeah. They're in the Youth Leadership Academy. So Jeff and Mike were the fast track sharks for that. And they did a building a business. So there was some feedback from that, which is great. Invest in our youth. The Business Accelerator Academy we applied for and were awarded a scholarship from Key Bank Foundation. Very fortunate for that. And we will be applying for a grant from the Wyoming Foundation that will go out April 1st, and we should be notified about mid-June. We just sent a press release out because that offering starts April 9th to the 30th. So you'll see some, which Jim had mentioned on CJ. So you'll see a press release on that. And we've had 34 participants in that program since inception. It's been doing very well. We'd like to limit it to 4, but we've taken as many as 6. And the mentorship program, like mentioned in the annual report, we've had 42 participants since its inception. And right now there's 8 businesses that are currently active in the program. So depending on what the business needs are, we can kind of help them either through the academy or the mentorship or both. Any questions on any of the programs?
Jennifer left some flyers. here.
Yeah. Okay,
Great job.
thanks.
Do we have any other business to go over today?
No, I think you had.
Anybody else on the committee have any?
I want to share something. but-
Yeah, if you could fill those out and send it back in.
Want to go offline?
Yeah, whenever we adjourn, it's fine.
We're, it's, the next meeting when, we need to,
Well, we need to.
okay.
Try not to waste everyone's time unless we got something to deal with.
Motion to adjourn.
With that, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. Jim, thank you. All those in favor?
Bye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.